guys in. There we go. We're live. Who gives a shit?
Wow.
Fuck.
Now, that's
shit.
not like an Irish.
I don't even care. Sammy's name is Big Sal. Chris is Kevin. Kevin's Chris.
Wow.
I don't give a shit.
Come on, man. This is a special.
This is some
moment.
bullshit. Just
Yes.
typical Irish luck. They say the luck of the Irish. They can suck me with those lies.
Come on,
Full
man.
of goddamn
Life is
shit
never gonna
and
be
piss.
perfect.
Holy hell, I just spent an hour trying to get this thing to work. What do you
Yes.
mean?
Okay.
And you're just sitting back twiddling your thumbs. I bet they both smell like shit because you've had them up your ass.
Actually, they smell like.
Son of a
Like
bitch.
what?
I have
Smell
no
like
luck.
Smell like honey, actually. Smell like honey. That's what they smell like.
Nice cup, Donald.
Why do you have honey in your ass?
Because it makes us sweet.
Back twiddling your thumbs. I bet they both smell like had them up your ass. Somebody's replaying something.
Who's reverbing? Where's that reverb coming from?
I wouldn't know. Where is it coming from?
It was me. I did it on purpose though, because that was funny.
Oh wow! So you think
That was
funny?
an instant replay.
Wow, I required extra replay.
Oh, you're funny.
Okay.
Well, quickly, let me just. This is Donald, the crazy Irishman who's angry. He's a Steeler fan. You say anything bad about DC Comics, he'll slap you in the mouth. And today he probably will slap somebody in the mouth if they piss him off. He was giving forewarning that he's not in a mood today. So treat him nice. Give it up for Mr. Happy Face himself, Donald McKenney.
Yay. Oh God.
Next, a man who is so happy because he literally just got off a cruise today. He is a man who loves to educate the masses. He is one of the best looking men in all of East Texas. He is Professor Chris D. Turner.
Woo.
Thank you.
And of course, last but not least, a young lady who has not been on the live stream in well over a year. But yes, it's been that long. But she's always in the chats. She's always been a very loyal listener, but she has a busy schedule. She is a young lady who teaches young minds. She is a young lady that makes sure they manage well, make sure they are staying on top. She is a great freelance rock and roll photographer and one of the greatest Hufflepuffs in the world today. Give it up for someone who knows Harry Potter and Hermione inside and out. She is the sensational, the savvy one, Miss Sammy Burrows.
Hello. Oh, Donald.
Oh, that's a cute little.
That's
a cute little. Is that a Care Bear?
Yeah. It's a good luck bear.
He's adorable.
It's a good luck bear.
Adorable.
Yeah.
He's a lucky Care
We're
Bear.
Irished out today, me and him.
Irished out today.
Full Irish. I went full Irish earlier. Chris had to talk me down from throwing my computer.
You see, you don't want to destroy an expensive MacBook Pro computer or MacBook Air computer.
I don't
Those
mind.
are hard to replace.
I told him if
mind.
you're gonna throw a computer, throw the PC.
Yeah, that's true.
PC.
You ever seen that clip of that guy that just started hitting the side of his monitor because nothing was working, and then he took the keyboard and he slammed it over the desk and broke it, and then he started like hitting the monitor, and then he picked it up and threw it, and it was amazing. I love that guy. I feel that guy's emotions.
Destruction of property, Donald. You are like the kids at my school.
I'm drinking out of a pot of gold. Who gives a shit?
Sir, what about the young children who are watching this right now? How can you use such foul language?
Children, you should be in bed. Go to bed.
This early?
Kids watching this.
Early?
No, for kids, Kevin. A lot of the kids at my school go to bed by like 8 something. So,
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Unlike me. But
Well, and all the kids I know would have been in bed in 3 hours ago. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What about the tweeners? You know, the 12, 13,
Whoa,
14 year
language, Kevin, language.
But
You
they have
can't
school
say that.
tomorrow, so they should be in bed too.
That's true.
It's true.
Oh,
It's very true.
High schoolers.
It's very
High
true.
schoolers-
Anyway, Mom and Dad's here. Say hi to my mom and dad, everybody.
Hello, Mrs. and
Hi,
Mr.
Mom and
McKinney.
Dad.
Hi, Mom and Dad.
Hi, McKinney.
I'm sorry everybody had to start the chat without us. Holy hell. This was awful. So to explain the situation, at the beginning of time, when the pandemic first happened, right, everybody was using Zoom. and there would be some lag and some issues, and I was like, well, why don't people use Skype? And so then I started using Skype, and then we found this program that we were using, and you could use Zoom, you could use other ones, but with Zoom you could only get so much time, and then you had to pay because they're bitches. So with Skype, it was free. So I was like, okay, so let's just use Skype. So we've continued to use Skype, and it's been great. Like a few hiccups here and there throughout, the years, but overall, it's been really good, really solid for us. Well, for some reason today, Skype decided that I needed an update, but when I updated it, it created a confliction with a past version of it on my computer. So I did not know it was creating a confliction. I just thought it was updating the current one I had, which caused all kinds of issues, and I had to go in and delete out every single version of Skype that I had on the laptop, which by the time I figured it out was 72 different versions. So I had to delete all of that off there and then restart it, and then it's like, oh, by the way, what's your password? And I was like, what?
No.
And they're like, oh, you don't know it? Oh, well, we'll need your username then. And I was like, I don't remember my username. I don't remember what I had for dinner yesterday, let alone my username. So I was like, shit.
Yeah,
So it's
pork
like,
and beans yesterday.
and then it's like, it's okay, you can use your phone number. So I put my phone number in, and it's like, we don't recognize that. And I was like, what do you mean? It's my phone. It's literally the only phone number I've had since I moved out to Los Angeles 20 freaking years ago.
No.
It's the same phone number. So I had a little breakdown, and then I called Chris, and he calmed me down, and we walked through it, and we were able to figure it out. And we finally got up and running. So I'm sorry that it took so long. But the Irish luck was not on my side today, I'll
You
tell
guys
you
can
that.
call
Okay.
me savior of the pod.
No,
Savior
the savior
of
of
the
the pod. Oh, look at that. no big head at all for you.
Well, he brought
Jesus.
luck with him from that cruise ship.
Hey, Bonnie. Hey, Sean. Hey, Jesse.
Flash
Good to
the
see you.
Sloth brought me his luck.
Yeah,
See?
yeah. And that looked awesome, by the way. But, yeah, it is our early St. Patrick's Day because, I'm going to be honest with you, I will not be able to do a podcast on St. Patrick's Day because I will be out enjoying St. Patrick's Day. Sorry.
He needs to go have a vacation. Let him go have a vacation.
And what better way to go enjoy St. Patrick's Day than to have a celebration here on the live show a week before, but also to unwrap Sammy's Christmas presents that she has yet to pick up. She
Almost
is
3 months. Oh my god.
officially the only
Okay.
person that can't make time for me. So look at all these gifts that I had gotten her.
Stop it.
There's
Stop it.
3 in this
Stop
bag
it.
and a couple, probably 1 or 2 in here. So I thought maybe I could open them live
You know what? Fine.
and you could see what I got
Whatever
you.
makes you happy.
You can see what I got you.
No, don't wait.
No, this is great.
That
This
is
is going to
wrong.
be a
That
great
is wrong.
gift. Don't
That's
worry.
a private issue.
Let's
right
open
there.
this one up
Private.
first and
Oh
foremost,
my
okay?
god, he's really doing it.
Yeah. So this one's really special, Sammy. I hope you really enjoy this one. This is a nice Chiefs hat that I got you because at this point I thought they might win the Super Bowl. So I got you this wonderful,
off.
nice, warm
Right off, Donald.
hat. So that's waiting for you. I got you some chocolate.
On a live stream. What is wrong with you?
You got some
Hey, what's
chocolate
wrong
here.
with you, man?
Oh, look, here's a nice, little cute little Poison Ivy comic in there, just thrown in there. That's a really cool gift, by the way. I wish somebody had gotten me thoughtful gifts like this.
Sorry you had difficulties today,
but
but this
it's
is
cool.
not
And
an
then-
okay reaction.
But that's
to
This
just
is not PC.
the box. Now we got to get to the bag.
Stop.
Now we got to get to the bag.
Please stop.
This is
you are a
exceptional.
jerk, Donald. You are a jerk.
All right, fine. I won't open the bag unless you really piss me off, and then I'll open the bag.
What about if you piss me off?
But
How about that?
you could see those are quality gifts, right? Everybody in the chat.
Mind you.
Yeah, no, the hat is freaking comfortable as heck too.
See?
I've worn it every time it's been cold.
Remember,
I got a Lions version of
I
that.
know
Yeah.
where you live,
Oh well,
Oh.
well.
and I know the code to get into your building.
Yeah.
And Sammy is armed. You should know that. She is armed.
She doesn't have a key to my
You're
door.
done.
I don't think you have a key to my door.
Yeah, I can just ask one of the kids at my school since they claim they're good at picking locks. Apparently,
Oh,
I don't know where.
You know what?
I
I would
Jesus,
be
Sammy.
surprised. They probably know.
don't know where they learned that. They watch a lot of YouTube apparently, but you know.
TikTok videos, they might tell them that.
mm-hmm.
Oh God. Oof.
My students would just burn it down.
Mm.
That's
They'd
one
just burn
way
the
to
door
do
down.
it.
Just burn the door down.
Jesse says open it. He wants me to open the bag, see what else is in there.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay, Jesse. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you, dude.
Okay, so
I am in the mood for this, Donald.
oh,
Children all day.
oh wow, I'm not in the mood for this. Okay, what
I
do you
don't need another
what do you think
child.
about that? Good luck, Bear.
I like it.
To be fair, Sammy, I teach kids all day long and have to deal with this for like years.
There we go.
You know what's fun is I've learned not to tell them anything, like because they will use it against you. I
Yeah.
don't know why I thought they wouldn't, but they do.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%.
They know I don't like being called Samantha, so they call me Samantha now all the time.
Mm.
How did they find out your full name?
Well, what else do you think Sammy is short for? But apparently they didn't know, and they
Ah.
found out, and
You know, I made a little promise to myself every time Sammy said something dumb, I was going to take a shot. So
Oh,
And you
come
know-
on, man.
Someday they're gonna realize that you don't like getting chairs thrown at you, and they're gonna throw you.
oh, you
chair.
have Tullamore as well. Look at you.
Of course.
Hey,
not.
I got Tullamore too.
What?
Wait, what's going on here?
What?
This is
What?
not a
What's going on here?
Bam!
There we go. Ooh, you got the blue
Mr.
label.
Turner, you
Yeah.
said you were a man of sobriety.
Uh-oh, coming in hot. I got the
Oh,
red
you got
label.
the red.
Oh, shit. Oh, this is the cider cask finish. This one's
This is limited
exceptional.
edition.
Exceptional.
What's the proof on that one?
Oh, look at Kevin. Oh, he's trying to one up us, Donald. Look at him.
Fiji water. This is 40% alcohol by volume.
This is 55.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Yeah, that is a stronger version. But anyway,
Right.
Sammy, here you go.
Every time Donald makes me want to smack him in the face.
There you go.
Drunk.
Okay, here
Now,
we go.
out of curiosity, I'm sure we could do this fast.
Yes.
Brother Professor Chris Turner, do you have any tea of the Irish nature to spill upon us this evening?
I do. Really quick, I'm going to talk about my favorite spot in Ireland to go to. It's right outside of Dublin. It's in Wicklow County. And it's an old monastery. It's the ruins of an old monastery.
Mm.
And there's an old tower that was there, and there's there's a cemetery. And
Do I have
there
pictures
is-
of this shit or no?
I did send you a picture. Yes.
Son of a bitch. You sent it. I thought that you were sending me options. Here's the thing. I thought you were sending me options for editing the photo to put up as the placeholder on YouTube.
No, I sent you the photos. for
That's what
talking
I
about
thought
it.
that was. So I only have one of the photos because it is
And it's
the
not
one
this one?
that I edited. So
But
probably
as a
not.
backup, I sent you some photos too. That's some of the stuff he mentioned, so you should have two options.
Oh, really?
You should
Okay.
do you have Glendalough?
Yeah, I actually did. There's the Irish monastery. I sent a picture of that.
Let's see. Let's see.
Looks kind of creepy too, to be
All right, I'm
honest.
gonna keep talking. It is very so yeah, there's a tower and there's another old barn
Mhm.
and like in a cemetery and there's a nice little creek that runs through there. And it's probably one of the most solemn areas I've ever been. People just, even though like the kids that were there, we went there. There's a whole bunch of school like trips there, and for the most part, everyone was pretty solemn and quiet. It brings an atmosphere of.
I don't think that's in here,
reflection.
Kevin, is it? Oh, yeah, it is. Hey, it is. Boom, there we go.
And it was. a
Hey,
little
we were
rainy.
both here, dude.
Yes, I know we were both here.
Okay.
Yes, Donald and I, we drove from John Donald, swearing the whole way, drove from Dublin, and
Yeah.
we stopped here.
Jeez. Was driving on the wrong side of the road in the
That's
wrong
fine.
on
wrong side of the
the
car.
on the wrong side of the car.
Why
They
are you
just-
doing that?
They just let you in Ireland. Like if they're like you have a driver's license someplace. I'm like yeah, and they're like okay. They didn't give a fuck.
Okay, nobody stopped you.
Anyway,
Nobody
It
stopped
was
you.
so nerve wracking.
This is Glendalough, and it's all right, right outside Dublin. It's a great, if you're ever in Dublin, it's a great place to just hang. That you can go. It's a day trip outside of the city. There's a lot of tours that take you there, or you can rent a car and it's just maybe an hour and a half drive from the city. Definitely
Absolutely
something I would
gorgeous.
Check out.
Absolutely gorgeous. And so serene and peaceful until they drop off a busload of fucking kids from school. And then forget it. But up until that point, so beautiful and calming and serene and wonderful. But once the kids got dropped off, you're fucked. But before that, it was so great and serene
So
and
key,
beautiful.
go on a weekend.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Go on a weekend. Go on a weekend. You should be going on a weekend there.
But if
Oh,
anybody
it's
wants to
taties.
plan a trip to Ireland,
Here's
reach me.
Here's a photo of where we parked. Like, you park right by the creek here. I don't know if you can see it very well.
I can see it.
But, it's just very beautiful. The whole area, there's the creek itself, from that bridge that was in the other photo. Just really nice. Really serene and beautiful, and the grass is so lush and green. And the inside of the building, there's like a tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it was...
That's where Rapunzel lived.
And then,
Ooh.
really cool, dilapidated buildings and stuff,
Yeah.
and just bricks and things. It was a great time. Very wonderful place, very serene and gorgeous and lush and blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
blah.
it has a different air about it. There's not a lot of places I can say that do.
Yeah. It was the land of the Fae, they might say.
Mm-hmm.
The
Land of
Fae.
the Fae.
Ah.
Anyway, if you'd like to go to Ireland, look me up.
Mr. Sean says, "What's so bad about a bunch of kids after school?"
And it wasn't after school; they were on field trips.
Yeah, they were on a field trip, dude.
I mean, yeah.
And if you were going there for something peaceful and serene, and to kind of, it's a cemetery too. So there's a lot of dead people around. So it's not some place that you should go and play tag. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm the weirdo here, Mr. Sean. I'm the weirdo. That, you know what? Yeah, you and me, Mr. Sean, next time you come into the shop, we're going to take a little field trip to the local cemetery, and you and me are going to play some goddamn freeze tag. I'm going to chase you all around the cemetery, and we're going to just laugh and scream and hoot and holler and see how many people give us weird looks. I'm just saying. It's odd. It was odd.
People do watch movies at cemeteries every now and again, too.
Yes, they do. And they have snacks and drink and blah, blah, blah.
Yay, snacks.
Carouse with one another, yes.
Yeah. No, the kids don't live in the cemetery, Mr. Sean, you weirdo. They don't live in the cemetery.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, who's saying there's dead children there?
No, it was mostly
Jesus.
people who lived in a monastery that were buried there.
Why are you so dark today? What's wrong with you?
Wait, hold a second. You start the program dark yourself, man.
I'm talking to Sammy. I ain't talking to you. Shut your mouth.
Wow.
Shut your whore mouth.
I am dark.
Wow.
Like the children who have the
Yes.
demon voices.
Yes. So anyway, Chris, you were talking about that. Was there another place you wanted to talk about really quickly?
Game
Game of Thrones locations.
Yeah, I have a few here. I think a lot of Game of Thrones was shot in Dublin, or not Dublin, in Ireland. Winterfell was shot there. Castle Ward. Look
at all these nerds. Look at all shit.
That's why I sent you that photo.
All freaking wearing the cloaks. They got their shields and swords and shit. You goddamn.
Giant.
We're
Oh
having fun.
man. You know
the place I want
what-
to talk about.
what you don't see in this photo is off to the right in the photo. You can't see it in the actual photo. There's a giant locker that all these nerds get shoved into after they're done taking this photo.
Oh my god.
All right,
Really?
that place is called Inch Abbey, and it's basically the camp of the Houses of the North in Riverlands when they're heading to the Trident to cross, and that's where their camp is. And it's that those ruins are Downpatrick Cathedral, and that's not what I want to talk about. I wanted to talk about this place called Tollymore Forest Park.
What's up, Belt Loop? What do you want to
And-
talk about? A park?
Tollymore Forest Park.
Oh my god, it better be exciting.
It is. It is a forest.
It's not
Yeah,
in
it's-
here,
it's-
Kevin.
Yeah. Well, I sent it to you, so I don't know. But anyway, it is. It is the forest that they shot, the forest for Winterfell, where they shot all the foresty stuff beyond the wall, and it's where they find the direwolf pups,
Mm.
and where the Nightwalkers are first.
They were adorable, those pups.
And where and there's some beautiful waterfalls and rivers and stuff there. And it was a really pretty picture I sent you, but you don't have it to show.
Yeah, I got a photo of Mr. Sean here.
Oh God. Oh,
Are you calling Sean a donkey? How dare you?
Or an ass? Donald, really?
Oh shit.
That was.
Remember,
that was
Mr. Sean is
for
twice your
that
size, sir.
right there.
Yeah,
He
but
can-
but
he
he's
can
older.
Squeeze.
I know his cardio regimen, Kevin. I know I can outrun him.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm 100% sure, sir. 100%.
That man jogs 3 times a day.
No, he does not.
I'm sorry, 3 times a week. Not 3 times a day, 3 times a week.
No, he does not.
There's a big difference, Kevin.
Yeah. That is a huge difference for sure. Yeah.
But I mean, they also doubled places for further out the Rocky Sea, that big prairie that they go through in the first season. And Dragonstone was also Dragonstone. There's some beautiful beaches that doubled as where Dragonstone was. There's a quarry, literally a quarry, where they shot the wall. They basically it was a wall for a quarry, and they turned that into the wall, but also part of Castle Black, and the wall. So most of that was just rock quarry. The caves at Dragonstone. Now Dark Hedges, which was the King's Road. And that's beautiful. It's just all these trees that kind of like reach over the road and kind of like grab each other by the limbs. It's like a tunnel of trees. Really cool. And I sent some pictures. I sent all these pictures, but Donald lost them, so you can't see them sadly. But if you want to go on a tour, Game of Thrones tour, let me know. I have all these locations mapped out, and I can send them to you, and you can see them all in like 3 or 4 days.
So Belt Loop has joined, and Belt Loop can't recall if they've ever been in our live before, but wanted to check us out. So welcome, Belt Loop. Thank you for
And now
joining.
he's regretting it now. He's like, oh.
And he says he's a police officer at a mental hospital, and I said, oh, so you know Kevin then.
Actually, he does. He does.
What a shock, Kevin. What a shock. I'm not surprised. He says nope. He doesn't know you. He doesn't know you for shit.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. Guess what's gonna happen right now?
Upon us. Go
Yep.
ahead.
Yep. It's time for the pullout, everybody. That's right. It's this segment of the live where I talk about comic books that I've read within the last week and discuss. And I read 3. I had a busy weekend. I worked TFCon, which, for those of you that don't know, because I didn't when I volunteered, it's a Transformers Con. So
In Burbank.
it was
at the Marriott.
more than met the eye. I don't know.
More than meets the eye.
Yeah, I guess. But anyway, so I was running a table there and working with CGC, which was an interesting experience, I will say. I have stories. If anybody wants to hear them, you can come by the shop and listen in, because I have some stories, some deep nerd shit I can tell you guys about that convention. But I digress. We're going to talk about the first one I read was Secret Six. Yes, they're back. Not written by Gail Simone, and it shows. Secret Six is like the Suicide Squad, but not quite. Not everybody dies all the time, which is interesting. Secret Six in this one contains Superboy, which is, what's his name?
Connor.
Jonathan Kent.
Oh, Jonathan Kent.
Not Connor this time. Connor was in the last incarnation of Suicide Squad, or one of them. This is Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent's boyfriend, who now is apparently a superhero and has some bullshit name, and some other two other bullshit characters I don't know at all. In Deathlock or is it Deathlock? Deadlock.
Deathlock is Marvel.
Yeah, Deadshot. Thank you. It's Deadshot. Deadshot, who I do enjoy, and then Catman. We don't get any Deadshot or Catman until the end of the issue. All the rest is just these two boyfriends bitching at each other the whole time. Now, if I wanted to read a comic about two men bitching at each other the whole time, I'd just drive to West Hollywood and hang out in some bar in 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday. No, thank you. This wasn't very good. I did not enjoy it. It just was kind of boring, to be honest. So I'm going to give it a 4. I can't really recommend it, but I am going to say that I'm going to give it a couple more issues to get going, to see if maybe they're just letting me know that all these two do is bitch at each other, and then, like, he doesn't like her, but he likes her. No, he doesn't like her, but he likes her, and she likes him, and she doesn't mind him, but he hates her, and I don't know if she knows him. It's just that kind of horse shit. So you're getting a 4 out of 10 on this one.
Now, how does Street Slim feel about that when you talking this way on St. Patrick's Day?
Who?
Street Slim, how would you feel about that? You speaking like this, and he's on here.
Oh, Street Slim, soon to be one of our very, very esteemed special guests at the shop.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. He'll be part of our next one of our things coming up.
So greetings to Street Slim, and also greetings to Mr. Elliott.
And okay, moving on, we're gonna go next to Jump Scare. Jump Scare is apparently a character from another comic that I don't think I read, but this is easy enough for me to catch on and know what's going on, which is great. I really enjoyed that. This character here, she can use any power from any horror film villain that she's seen in a movie.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, if she wanted to learn how to use a chainsaw, she would watch Army of Darkness. And then suddenly she's proficient in chainsaws, and one will magically appear for her. So yeah, it's a super cool idea, and one that really gets like horror aficionados kind of into the mix and involved and super into it. I really like this one. I gave it a 7.75. It has a lot of potential. The ending's really good. It's got a nice cliffhanger ending to it that I think is enjoyable. Highly recommended. It's $3.99, 7 to a 7.5. Jump Scare from Dark Horse Comics.
You know, Donald, you'd make one heck of a movie critic. You'd be very entertaining as a movie critic.
Oh, I don't think people would want that. I don't think the movie world is ready for me yet, Kevin.
You don't
Why
think
not, man?
a Roger and Ebert level, you know?
Yeah, it's bullshit.
It'd be funny.
We have One World Under Doom, Doctor Strange of Asgard. Yes, he's gonna be your Asgard. In case your ass needs it, he'll guard it. Doctor Strange of Asgard. Yes, he has lost his Sorcerer Supreme duties to Doctor Doom, who said, "Oh, let me help you during this vampire crisis. Give me the Sorcerer Supreme power, Doctor Strange. I know what I'm doing." And this dumb shit does. And then guess what? He pulls a goddamn Lord of the Rings Mount Doom shit, and he's like, "Give me back the power." And Doctor Doom turns and goes, "No." And then that's it. So Doctor Strange now goes to Asgard to try to be a sorcerer there because no one wants him anywhere else. So that's a great way to start out your day. It's actually really good, though, once it got going, and it does have a hell of a cliffhanger ending on issue 1. I'm going to give it a 6.5 on this one. I think there's a lot of potential here. It's a lot of fun, and it's definitely worth your time. So pick it up if you can. You can find it at your local comic book shop. Comic shops that sell new books such as We Can Be Heroes Comics in Chatsworth, California.
What does it take to get a 9 out of you for a comic book review? I'm just curious.
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. That was last year, sir.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just saying
it needs to be exceptional.
And to get a 10 out of you, good lord, they probably have to pay you.
Or to blow me. I mean,
that too.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
Yep. Yep.
No.
Yep.
Absolutely not.
What's that? You want to
Nope.
you want an unwrapping?
No.
No. Oh, okay.
How could that piss you off? God, what? How sensitive are you today?
Oh, here we go. Sammy's bullshit.
Yeah. Drink it up, buddy. Drink it up.
It's ridiculous.
See if that helps. See if that helps. Your mood, because you're in one heck of a mood right now, buddy.
Not much. Just
I
waiting
know.
on the next shift to come on over. Oh, okay.
Just an excuse to take a shot. All right,
Mhm.
now Sammy's taking a shot. Okay, I guess
No,
now Chris gets a shot too.
Okay.
I am not
I've
taking a
officially-
shot. I am sipping.
Guess what?
I
Oh,
actually
there's
have
Chris.
a-
There he goes. Play this game.
Mr. Sean, no. No, I wouldn't be kind enough to pull you a copy. We're sold out, actually. Otherwise, I really would. But we are sold out. But I'll let you read mine if you really want to read it. I'll bring it in. You can read it. I just want it back. But I'm happy to do that if you want to borrow it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we sold out. But I can see about getting you... I'll talk to Julio and see if we can order you in a copy. Special. Just when I see you again, if I haven't done it, remind me. But I'll try to do that here during the pod. I'll text and see if I can get that pulled for you. Moving on. We've got lots of stuff to discuss. Lots of stuff. I have gold coins, by the way.
Irish culture. Oh,
This stuff is so strong that my lips are now numb after one shot.
Oh, Chris,
Wow.
please be careful.
Gold coins, guys.
you got some gold?
Yeah.
Which leprechaun did you steal from today?
That's
Yeah.
plastic. That is plastic.
How do you know it's plastic?
Which leprechaun did you steal from today?
Please, that's not gold.
You robbed a
That's
leprechaun.
stupid, Donald.
You wouldn't know.
He robbed like a bootleg leprechaun or something.
Maybe I did.
Plastic gold coins.
All right, so
Jip is that?
I'm going to start this out because I want to...
Shillelagh.
Okay. Shillelagh. All right. Well, I'm thinking we start out. I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of Guinness.
Are you
And
talking about the Irish beer? The
Yes.
black Irish beer?
yes, I want to talk about the history of Guinness. It's based out of Dublin, Ireland. You can go there. It is like the Disneyland of beer in Ireland. And Guinness is pretty much like having a Bud Light or a Budweiser or something in Ireland, although it actually tastes good. Where a Bud Light or a Budweiser here in the U.S. tastes like horse piss. So, regardless of whether you're drinking that, it's terrible. Stop. Don't drink that. Do better. But the reason why I wanted to bring up as far as that is Guinness is I wanted to talk about Arthur Guinness, who started brewing ales in 1759 at the St. James Gate Brewery in Dublin. On the 31st of December 1759, he signed a 9,000-year lease at £45 per annum for the unused brewery. 10 years later, in 1769, Guinness first exported his ale. He shipped 6.5 barrels to Great Britain. Guinness is the most popular beer in the world as of last year, which is super surprising, actually, but it is. He started selling the dark beer porter in 1778. The first Guinness beers to use the term stout were single stout and double stout in the 1840s. Throughout the bulk of its history, Guinness produced only 3 variations of a single beer type: porter, or single stout, or double stout, or extra and foreign stout for export. Stout originally referred to a beer's strength, but eventually shifted meaning toward body and color. With a stout, you would get a darker, more kind of a dark brown, black body-like color, and the head of it would be a rather cream-colored foam that would form at the top. Porter was also referred to as plain, as mentioned in the famous refrain of Flann O'Brien's poem, The Workman's Friend. Already one of the top 3 British and Irish brewers, Guinness sales soared from 350,000 barrels in 1868 to 779,000 barrels in 1876. Guinness has been operating since then in the Dublin, Ireland area. During World War II, the demand for Guinness among the British was one of the main reasons why the UK lifted commerce restrictions imposed in 1941 to force Ireland into supporting the Allied power. Believe it or not, the British were such rebel-roused drunks that they lifted an imposed restriction because they just wanted that Guinness. Before 1939, if a Guinness brewer wished to marry a Catholic, his resignation was requested. These are some interesting facts, by the way. Guinness thought they brewed their last porter in 1973. In the 1970s, following declining sales, the decision was taken to make Guinness Extra Stout more drinkable. The gravity was subsequently reduced, and the brand was relaunched in 1981. Pale malt was used for the first time, and hop extract began to be used. In 2014, 2 new porters were introduced, West Indies Porter and the Dublin Porter. Now, at that time, Guinness is extremely popular, doing extremely well, and has purchased other companies, some of these companies being Harp and Smithwick's. Smithwick's was in 1965 when Guinness purchased that from Walter Smithwick.
I love Smithwick's.
Yes. It was together Guinness and Company and Smithwick's developed and launched Smithwick's Draught Ale in 1966. By 1979, 500,000 barrels were sold each year. I happen to have a beautiful can of Smithwick's Red Irish Ale right here, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like, and I'm going to tell you what it tastes like. So we open this beautiful can. You take your glass. Now, I like to use the McLeod's, which is a Scottish brewery here in Los Angeles, California, particularly in Van Nuys. And every St. Pat's, they brew a beer called Paddy McGinty's Goat, greatest of all time. And it does have a gold goat emblem. I don't know if you could see it there.
That's nice.
But I always use this glass, and you pour yourself a nice Guinness. You like to pour it heavy like that. You don't have to pussyfoot around with it and be light with it. You always want a nice thick head like that. I know people say, oh, it'll be flat. Not with a Smithwick's, not with a Guinness. That's not the way it works. The color of that is a nice amberish red hue to it. The foam on it tastes exactly like what I imagine heaven is like. And let's go ahead and taste this Smithwick's Irish Red Ale. It's crisp. It's got a smooth finish. It's a slight bitter that tapers off into a nice malty sweet. So you get hit with a sharp little slight bitter, and then it tapers right off into a nice malty sweet, which is exceptional when you're talking about a red ale. That's what you want. Red ales, I think oftentimes people forget, have that malt to it, and not so much the hops. There is a little slight hops at the beginning, which is what gets you that, like little kind of a bitter, sour almost taste to it. But it's the malt that you want that gets you that sweetness and that beautiful hue to the red ale. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
You know what's interesting? You said a 9,000-year lease.
Yeah.
So what happens in the year 10,759 once that lease has expired?
Who gives a shit? We ain't gonna be around.
Well, how do you know?
Kevin,
What are the odds of us?
even if, let's say they turned you into a robot or something, you would be the most self-deprecating robot that I don't think you would care so much so about Guinness as you would about yourself and your inability to be human again. I think you would just be so worried about being human again that you wouldn't even care. You would be just so upset that you are a robot. Well, I guess I'm a robot. Yeah, that's what us robots do.
So what? I would be like the robotic Eeyore?
I think so. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, I can see that.
He'd be like a Cyberman or something from Doctor Who. Or
Yeah. What is that? Good luck bear? You would like to try some? Good luck bear.
No, don't feed that bear.
Oh, look at him with your little mouth.
Don't do
Did
that.
you get the beer?
Hey, gotta get him started
Oh,
something.
you got the beer. Look, it's on his face. He's got the beer.
Don't feed that poor bear.
It's tasty.
Here.
Is that bear 21, Donald?
Yeah, you only got to be 18 to drink in Ireland.
Aha! He's right.
Bear is not in Ireland.
There.
Bear is in
I cleaned his mouth off.
California.
There you go, little buddy. There you go.
God.
See, he still wants more. Look. Oh, there we go. Back for more. Wee. Yep, he's having more. Nom, nom, nom. There you go. Clean your mouth. There you go.
That bear's got a problem.
That bear does have a little bit of problem, probably, I guess. I don't know. What do I know? But that's all about Guinness. That's all about you can take a tour there in Guinness at the Guinness Brewery, by the way, if you are in Dublin, Ireland. Chris and I opted not to do it. We just had too much to do and too little time. And we thought we would go to some place that would be a little less popular. And that's where we ended up. And this is where I segue into the three-way here, Sammy. That's when
What? No.
That's when we talk about this right here. Chris
Tullamore Dew.
and I ended up at the Tullamore Dew Distillery in Tullamore, Ireland, where
And I am very jealous.
they actually
I'm extremely
do
jealous.
distill it. It is
Yes, they do. Yes.
it's Berwick, Tullamore, in the county of Offaly.
And interesting thing about that is right near the Tullamore Dew is a haunted castle.
Yes. Oh, it's
Ooh.
and okay. And I know we've said this probably in every single one of these Irish speeches that we've done, these podcasts on Ireland, but it's just amazing the fact that we pulled up, we drove, we saw there was a castle, and we drove to the castle, and there was no gate or anything. We drove straight up to the castle, and we parked, and we got out, we knocked on the door, the big, the huge castle door, like in the movies you hear, and it goes. Right? Yeah. And we knocked on the door, and then it did open like that, and a lady came to the door. And I think it was Marique was with us at the time.
Yes.
So we let her kind of take the lead because, pushed her because if they were going to murder somebody, it's better her than us.
It's true. It's true.
How gallant.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So they opened the door, and she was like, "Hi, me and my friends here. We're from America, and we came all this way, and we wanted to kind of see a castle. And we thought maybe, do you guys do tours here? Would we be able to?" And the lady was like, "Oh, well, we do some tours here from time to time, and we actually did." You know what? We could do one for you. Yes, it's fine. Come on in. They opened up their doors to their castle so the three of us could go on a tour that was led by the lady of the house, kind of. And it was just bizarre and so cool to walk around. And then they told us about it being haunted and shit. And I was like, oh, this is probably where Chris gets killed. But it didn't happen.
I mean,
What?
to correct on a little bit. It wasn't just some castle that people lived in. They did give tours. We were the only people ever to tour this castle.
Oh, I'm sure they did. Yeah.
In fact, the castle is called Charleville Castle.
The Charlottesville Hornets.
No, Charleville.
Oh,
Charleville.
Charleville, yes.
Sean says a lot of jibber jabber from Donald. I'll check back in an hour to see if he stopped yakking.
Ooh.
Still yet to set foot in my shop, the
I
coward.
think an hour is still too
Look, man,
high.
Santa Barbara is a good distance away.
But it was the castle was on a show called Most Haunted and then there was another one. Fox had a show called Scariest Places on Earth, and the castle was on both of those.
I'm trying to see if I
Look,
have a
probably
photo
watched
of
one
it.
those.
I do have a photo
lot
of the
haunting
outside
shows.
of there was a building. It wasn't. It was just there was a bar below it, but I always thought this was really cool, where it has the seal and the an ostrich kind of thing, and they're helping this guy hold a clock up, and it says Guinness time.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is that? Yeah.
I always thought that was cool. We drove past that, and I took a picture. But I'm looking for if I have any photos of the castle offhand, and I don't see that.
I do. I'm finding one. Hold on.
Krista.
I have
Okay.
a whole lot of them.
Well, look at
Yeah,
you.
Hey, Donald, don't be mad because you didn't have them.
I'm not mad. I just said, well, look
Are
at
you?
you.
So this is the castle,
Ooh,
There we go.
and this is what it looked like in the inside. I really wish I had a picture of my butthole right now. That's the top of the stairwell.
Hey.
Let's see here. This is the big. No, that's not the.
Well,
Oh, you saw it. I mean, I got
yeah.
a bunch here. I could show this all night long.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the room that was like the really haunted room, but I can't remember which one it was.
Did you see any spirits?
No, I mean, well, we had a lot of spirits before we went there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If you want to get back to the Tullamore Dew factory, or distillery down.
Yeah, we can go back to that conversation. One of us is a thief. One of us is a
So
thief.
one of you committed larceny in Ireland?
It's possible.
Well,
Who do I
technically,
think that was?
technically,
Here's the thing.
we did take something
Here's
out,
the
but
thing.
we convinced somebody else to do it for us.
Oh wow.
It's
Wow,
true.
so you made some of an accessory.
Mm.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, he drank the drink out of the glass. I just placed the glass into the
this
bag.
glass, into Marique's bag,
Right.
Wow.
and she didn't know it was in there.
Oh, no, you lied. Oh my. You just didn't tell. Wow.
Wow. Now that's an interesting setup if there ever was one. Wow. That's diabolical, man. You're diabolical.
Like, I
Yeah,
really wanted this glass, and it was the end of our trip, and I was out of money.
he was. He
You
was.
didn't have a bag you could put it in? Like, come on, Chris.
They weren't going to check a girl's bag.
Oh, because they just assume we all have these giant bags and they don't want to take the trouble going through a woman's bag.
Yes,
Hmm.
she had a giant bag.
So
Mhm.
what if she got detained for
She
that
did.
larceny? What would you two have done?
Mm.
What in what world would they?
Thrown her under the bus.
I mean, now knowing what I know, I would have just left her there.
Yeah.
Of course you would have.
I
Of
mean,
course
now
you would have.
that's fair, right? That's fair. Now knowing what I know now,
Great.
I would have been like, bye. You know.
Diabolical Donald.
Smoke bomb, boom, and then Chris and I just disappear. Again, we run to the car.
If they
Um,
actually did something, but no, you doing it with your own. Yeah, no.
So, Sammy, what do
Bad.
you like so much about Tillamook? What's so special about that? Because you do every time you come over, you ask for it. And you're like, do
Okay,
you have
because you
Tullamore?
have it. You have it.
Right, but I also have other Irish whiskeys, but you always ask for Tullamore.
No, because because it is easy. It's smooth. It's easy to drink, and it's something that you can just sip on, and you don't need to mix it with anything, and it's not too strong, and it's something. It's my go-to. I mean, if the Hogs had it, Universal had it, I would order it there, but they don't. They have Jameson, which is really sad. But like I don't feel like walking the extra bit of time to the Irish bar in the theme park that actually has it. But no, I love it. It's easy to drink. I mean, I grew up with, when I was in my late teens with my dad letting, if I wanted to have a beer in the house, I could, as long as I was home, and being exposed to whiskey and scotch and things that were really, like better than like the Jack Daniels I was having with some people. And just quality wise, it's really good. It's really good and easy to drink. It's a good go-to.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like about it, Donald?
I like the bottle.
Is that it? Is that it?
It's a nice bottle.
I mean,
No, I like the varietals. I thought it was interesting when we were there, they were pushing the cider cask finish. They had just introduced it. And unfortunately, again, it was at the end of our trip. So I had zero space in my luggage for any type of bottles. So I unfortunately could not purchase a bottle. And I deeply regretted that. But thankfully, about, I would say 2 years later, maybe 3, they introduced it into the U.S. They introduced the cider cask finish. And I was super excited about it because it is special. It does taste completely different from what the regular Tullamore Dew tastes. And I don't mind the original regular Tullamore Dew, don't get me wrong. But this one has a beautiful finish to it. I'll even say what it says. It says, crafted in the long tradition of our Irish whiskey making with this special cask finish, whiskey we draw upon another great traditional Irish craft cider making. Old whiskey barrels, which have previously held fresh pressed Irish cider at the early stages of fermentation, impart a sweet, fruity vibrancy to the whiskey. And I think that's kind of special.
It was very good. And I thought it was cool because they really showed us how to like taste whiskey proper way.
Yeah.
To see the legs and just like
up till
really,
then, yeah, we were just butt chugging it, and
Okay, I mean,
you know,
look, one day I'd love to go to a whiskey tasting in a distillery in Ireland. I mean, the only thing I've done is I've gone to Scotch tastings in Scotland, which is really fun too. But
yeah,
the only drinking experience I've had in Ireland was when we were at the Dublin airport on a layover, and I was like, this is the closest I've been to being in Ireland. I am going to go to whatever little kiosk or bar they have, and I'm going to drink a Guinness in the Dublin airport. And that's what I did. So,
see, Donald had any room for Tullamore Dew because he was too busy because he had too much scotch in his luggage.
I did have a few bottles. The Deanston's 18 year.
Yes, this is Deanston here.
Which was
only 12 year, but
which was not cheap. It was not expensive, super expensive, but it was not cheap. And there was no way I was letting go of that. And they didn't have the smaller bottle versions of the Tullamore, for us to grab. So
there was a Scotch at a distillery that I went to, and they didn't have small bottles. I think they still don't have them. At least you can't buy online. So all they had were big ones, and my luggage at that point was already so full of Scotch that I could not buy more. So, sad.
Well, Nezzy says we're terrible, Chris, and Alex says he wants to try this whiskey because he loves whiskey, and he just drinks whiskey to get drunk faster, which is shameful.
Oh,
Alex, you need to. There's a connoisseurship when it comes to whiskey. To be honest, a good whiskey. Now, if you're just drinking swill, I get it. Like that'll get you there. But for me, most of the time when I drink whiskey, it's to have a particular flavor, or an aperitif or something, a digestive, if you will. Something after dinner to have light, and then you go for a nice stroll around town. You go for a walkabout,
Do you do that?
I do all the time. Yeah.
In NoHo?
Yeah, I did today. Yeah.
After you've had a little.
They're filming Fallout Season 2 right across, like down the street from me.
That.
Yeah, right down the street.
Driven by?
Same place that
I
Captain Marvel.
walked by. Are you kidding me? I talked to the security guards. I'm like their bestie. We hang out.
Okay, introduce me.
Yeah. Well, if you ever came over, I'll give you your Christmas present here.
No, Donald. Literally, why?
Fine.
Does the whiskey help and assist with certain ailments if one is suffering from certain ailments? A little bit of whiskey.
It hasn't.
Okay.
It has not helped with Donald.
So realistically, when I had my go bag, which is if there's like any type of an earthquake or anything like that, type of situation, fires and stuff like that, I have a full bottle of whiskey in my bag, unopened, because not only can I use it to barter with, I can use it to drink, and I can use it on cuts.
Yes, that's right. You can pour it on a
scratches,
wound.
things like
Sure.
A
that.
wound.
Yep.
Yes.
So, multiple uses for a bottle of whiskey in those types of scenarios. So, there's
And it could
nothing
be a
wrong with
weapon.
it. Yeah, I mean, some of these bottles, like if you
Yeah,
got like a
weapon.
Jack Daniels bottle or something, turn that upside down, you can knock the shit out of somebody with that. For real. Or just bust
true.
it and cut a
That's
bitch.
Love force trauma.
Hello, Elvin. Greetings, sir. All of a sudden, Donald is besties with the security. Oh my God! It's like everybody just makes assumptions about me.
Why not, man?
You have
It's fun.
no idea. You have no idea. I'm definitely besties with the security guard at the Chase Bank down the street from there today when I told him all about it. He left his job. He walked out with me. When I walked out of the bank, he's like, I'm going to go check it out, and just walked out. Didn't clock out or nothing, just walked the fuck out the door and went down the street. Was like, I'll see you later. And I was like, aren't you supposed to be watching the bank? Like if you hear about some heist or something, I had nothing to do with it, all right? Nothing.
Sounds like a tall tale there, Donald. Sounds like a tall tale.
It's possible. But not really. So we've talked about Smithwick's, we've talked about Guinness, we've talked about some towns, we've talked about Tullamore Dew. What else would we like to talk about, everybody? Anybody else would like to mention something?
Sammy, isn't there some mythical tale or
Oh.
creature?
Yeah. Okay, so it's technically there are two things, but because originally I thought of Selkies, partly because of the movie Undine that I watched. That was it was 2019, and it was with Colin Farrell, and it was about a man who's in this Irish fishing town, and he catches a woman in his net, and she tells a story about, she leads the guy's daughter to believe she's a Selkie, which is like a seal woman, and there are these creatures that they live in the ocean, but if they can turn into humans if they go onto land and they take off their seal coat, and they can live as humans on land. And there was one story about a Selkie that did that, and a man stole her coat, hid it so she would marry him and live with him, and just have to live with him, fall in love with him. And there's also a creature called the Marrow that is the Irish equivalent of a mermaid that supposedly has a cap they wear that they need to travel between the water and the land. And
What?
it's
So the Marrow has to
No,
wear a
it's
ball
not.
cap?
Not a bald cap. It's like a special cap that they need so that they can travel between the land and the water. So there's that one that's more like a traditional mermaid, and then there's the Selkie that is the seal creature.
I'm looking at the
They wear
Selkie right
seal
now.
skins.
I'm not minding this.
Okay, Donald.
You know,
I know you're
Jesus
gonna do
Christ.
like
Yeah, no, Chris, he does this.
I'd run into a Selkie. I'd
I feel like
invite her
especially
back.
after the beer and the whiskey.
Why do you think I take a
Donald
picture
is
of me? Because
like-
someone needs to look like the normal one.
That's true.
Honestly,
That's true
Chris,
because
I
you're a
can see
weirdo,
that.
but when you're
That-
with me,
that
you
would
look
work.
normal. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, Chris is like, I'm the most normal guy ever. Because you see Donald and you're just like, damn, I believe
You
it.
you remember on the cruise to Alaska when I was in the pool and we kept hitting the waves and I just kept rolling like back and forth because I was in the shallow end. It would just roll me around like some type of a seal or an otter or something.
I also remember you jumping in a pool when it was 45 degrees outside.
Yeah, it was cold. It was cold.
Weird.
Donald,
it's a delicious-
I have to tell you.
Hmm.
Donald, my dad wanted me to say hi to you.
Oh,
Oh,
hello, sir.
I thought you were doing some.
No, because he opened the little door to my room and he's like saying things, and I'm saying, "Go away,
Hey, I got
go
that.
away."
God.
I got that Ninja Turtles goodness here.
Close the door.
Look. And this is 1 and 2.
Oh, so it's got Secret of the Ooze.
Secret
Yeah.
of the Ooze.
Yeah.
Ninja go, ninja go.
That's the one. That the second one is the one my dad worked on.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
It has it's got Vanilla Ice on the back and stuff.
I got to visit him when I was a tiny Sammy. I got to visit him on the set.
See?
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
That's like 1991.
This is from
Yeah.
1 hour photo and
I was
video.
little.
You can give them a call at 456-1100.
You know,
Yeah,
I
they're
was
probably gone.
I was this close
Probably.
to buying an April O'Neil figure at Five Below this weekend. I was like, ooh,
Ooh, you should.
Why didn't you?
because I have enough nerdy crap that I have to worry about finding space for. So.
I
saw
get
that
what
figure
you're
there,
saying.
too.
I get what you're
almost bought
saying.
that, too.
I get it. I bought a Gamera little vinyl figure here because I had a compulsion to buy something while I was at that Transformers convention, but I didn't want any Transformers.
Oh yeah.
And then I saw they had Gamera, and I was like, ooh.
It's the compulsion and the desire, the pull is strong to buy things. So it's like I mean, God, next time when I finally am able to go to Ireland itself to visit, I will probably come back with, well, mostly whiskey. I'm not gonna lie, it's
You
gonna
should
be
just come
like a
back
whole
drunk.
duffel bag. Look, okay, even in Paris when I was there, I bought an Irish whiskey at the grocery store I went to, and I was like, they didn't have Tullamore Dew, so I got Bushmills, and I was drinking that in a coffee cup in Paris because that was the only cup we had. So
Hey, next time you go to Ireland, you got to go to Doolin and get Donald a new coffee cup made by children.
Oh, yes.
children?
Well, I don't know if it was children, but it
It was children. It was a part of an art program.
was the saddest
They made
story of my
the
life.
children-
okay.
Children made clay coffee cups or clay cups, and it was and it was a fundraiser. And Donald bought one, and he broke it.
Oh, Donald.
My bag fell over when I got back to my apartment. It made it all the way.
Donald.
It's tragic.
I had a bunch of stuff in my bags too, but luckily none of the bottles of scotch broke. So that was all good.
Alex says, put those kids to work.
Oh my god. No, I was
He keeps
gonna
buying
say,
CGC comics on eBay. Oh, that's bad. I was a signature verifier over the weekend, Alex. I was actually working for CGC.
So how do you get the certification to be a verificator?
You have to be kind of like knighted. They got the slab, and I knelt down, and they got the slab, and they were like that, and then I became a verifier.
Mm.
It's a complicated
How special.
process. Yeah.
How auspicious and special.
Thank you.
What is that? Just like a little tin cup you've got there? What is that? Donald?
Yes. Yeah. There's a whiskey company called Tin Cup Whiskey. I think they're based out of Tennessee, or is it Texas? I can't remember which. And they were talking. I think it was Tennessee, and they were talking about the story goes that they would like to, at the end of the day, they would like to have a whiskey, and usually, like if they had regular cups or whatever, it would get ruined. So they always had these little tin cups. So when you buy that whiskey, that particular brand, on top of the lid comes with a little tin shot glass, so a tin cup.
Wow, that's a nice thing that comes with your whiskey. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like that brief period of time when I was buying Tullamore Dew and they didn't have the regular, just the bottle, and I got a special gift box that came with a pair of Tullamore Dew socks.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Well, because I was doing the whole order thing during that time, or order to the house during COVID, I have at least 3 pairs of Tullamore Dew socks now. So
I did not blow somebody at CGC and got certified Nezzy.
Wow. That's quite
Wow.
the accusation. That's quite the accusation.
Little bitch cakes with little bullshit attitude, full of pozole and piss and vinegar. That's what she's full of.
Now, pozole is
Look.
good.
it's Donald.
Oh my God,
What's the
Sean
face?
McGean!
What's the
If
face?
you don't stop, I'm literally gonna ban you.
What?
What did he do to you now? What did he
He's
do?
just an asshole.
Wow.
He's
Now
just
you're
being an
insulting
asshole, though.
Our
Like,
fans.
no, there's no
Thank
reason
you,
to be an
Sean.
asshole.
Thanks, Sammy finally got a turn to talk. Thank you, Sean.
I got my finger on the ban button right here. Simple
Now,
press of the
I don't
button.
think Professor Turner would have tasted.
Yeah, it's called Tin Cup Whiskey, Eugenio. It's good.
Why are you putting words in my mouth, Kevin?
Yes, thank you, Alex. Alex understands that Dead Air Kills podcasts. It absolutely does. And when you listen to our audio podcasts, it's exactly what it is. Like, if there'll be 3 or 4 of us, and there'll be this lull. And then I'm like, oh, and then, because you have to constantly have, stuff going. You can't, if... Kind of boring, right?
The show gets boring.
Yeah,
No,
it gets a little boring.
In college, I had a radio show that was called Dead Air. And every episode, I had 1 minute of dead air, and my producer hated it so much.
Well, the next time you get a show, Sean, I'll go on there and be rude to you constantly, and then we'll see who the asshole
Arguments with
is.
Donald. Just poke at Donald, and there will be no dead air. Just keep poking at him. Poke.
That's true. Poke the bear. That's it. Poke the Donald.
Possibly, yeah. Could be.
No,
Could be.
no, I know.
I also talk constantly, so I'm biased. If anyone ever listens to podcasts, I've been on as a host. I talk a lot, and feel free to interrupt. We did a podcast of Alex, actually, Alex Benquita.
Yes, we did.
It's a really good one. You can look it up on YouTube, and we discuss Headless. It's a really nice one. And thank you, Jesse. I appreciate that. There's somebody that understands.
See, Jesse's showing you some
As half Scottish, half Irishman that I am.
Hey, I got Scottish and Irish. I just got other stuff too. Like, come on.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Chris is-
Nothing wrong at all.
Chris is Irish, Bahamian, Scottish, German, I believe.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm Scotch-Irish,
Scotch Irish.
and I'm German, and I'm
German.
French-Canadian, and I'm French-Canadian.
I thought you said you're like part
Dude.
Bahamian too.
No, I never said that.
Oh.
Kevin, what are you doing?
Putting words in my mouth again, Kevin. Jesus.
Well, I got.
Jesus would not be happy with you, Kevin.
That's true. That's true.
To be honest, so if we do become part of Denmark and they're our Danish overlords, I welcome them.
Well, actually, it'd be the other way around. It'd be the other way around.
No. Actually, Kevin,
No, when-
maybe you don't know that.
I will gladly become part of Denmark. That'd be cool.
Denmark has offered to purchase California because of us offering to purchase Greenland.
Well, first of all, that would be a comparable trade. I mean, California, if you were to actually buy California, it would cost at least $1.4672 trillion.
Who would have the
Greenland.
say in the purchase of California? Would it be the state of California itself, or would it be the governing states of the United States of America? Would it be the
It'd
whole?
be a combination of the two, I believe.
That I don't know, because I think like they were talking about Texas succeeding, right? If Texas succeeded from the Union, so to speak, how that would work. Like they could do that, but then they would be on their own with everything. So it's possible. I think that a state can succeed. So California could succeed from the Union, from the United States of America, and then say, "Hey, Denmark, would you like to purchase us?" And then
But they wouldn't
Denmark
have the money.
could.
Again, they don't have over $1.4 trillion.
Well, I mean, I
to do
don't.
so.
I don't think that it, for certain reasons, I don't know that would matter. You know what I mean? Like, I think that maybe there would be a discount given.
So you're saying
Yeah,
like a
discount.
Louisiana Purchase type discount?
Yeah, well, that was a pretty deep discount, but yeah,
Yes, yes.
absolutely.
Sure, why not? Let's give them a big discount. Take it. Or hell, if like say Scotland wanted us, or Ireland or the UK, you can take us back. UK,
Actually,
take us back.
UK had no connection to California. You might be thinking of the
I
original
don't
13
care.
colonies.
They can have us. They can have us.
Wow, this
Take us.
is very complicated, Sammy. Very complicated.
It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
complicated.
Extremely
Actually,
complicated.
Be worried because the European state or country closest to California is Russia.
You know what? That involved a different purchase back in the 19th century for Alaska. The Seaward Purchase. Yes, yes.
Look, if I still get to have my whiskey, it's fine. No,
That's all that
I'm not
matters to
kidding.
you.
It's not. No, it's not actually, but you know.
Okay. Anything?
what do we
If somebody
got
wants
next?
to talk about something else, feel more than free to do so.
Something that relates to your family, actually, Donald. I just literally discovered this earlier today. Apparently, banshees have a connection to people like yourself who have the surnames O or Mick or Mac. Apparently,
Interesting.
yeah, didn't know that. Apparently, banshees have this apparent connection. And as we know, a banshee is besides the wonderful X-Men character, the real life banshee is usually an old woman or older woman that wails and howls in the middle of the night. And when that happens, it usually is an ominous sign of death coming to your family.
It's an interesting
Generally.
picture. The left hand of the banshee being all just bone,
Yes, yes.
and the right hand looking like it consists of flesh. That's.
Yes, very frightening. If you saw that in the middle of the night, you would
And
scream.
is she bleeding out of her eyes? Perhaps blood.
Maybe no. I think she's crying. I think she's crying. Usually they're wailing. They're wailing.
Oh,
The banshee.
okay.
And then I learned that banshee usually comes from the term from keening, Keening, and usually that comes from a Gaelic word which I cannot pronounce. I won't even try. But basically it means to cry or weep. And usually these women would be paid to go to funerals and weep for the dearly departed. So that's kind of like where part of the history of the banshee comes from. But I was quite interested when I saw that your family or people of your clans possibly have a connection to the banshees.
So you're saying in like a family such as mine, if I heard somebody wailing, I would know that there is death near.
Well, from what I'm seeing here, not necessarily. It could be the other way around. It's almost like you could be a banshee or something like that. If I'm reading this correctly.
So I could just scream at somebody and maybe they would die.
Perhaps.
Don't tell him that. It's gonna give him ideas, Kevin. Don't do that. Don't look what you've
That's an
done.
interesting power to have, sir.
What you've done.
Now, if you do it just like the X-Men character, you
Then
know.
I could see that. Yeah, like somebody probably be bleeding out their eyes. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Hello, Philippe. Good to see you. Why do banshees yell so much? I just don't think they're happy people. They're happy people. I don't think. Slim, I will be happy to tell more about this event that we're going to have in April. It's going to consist. It's basically the way I see it is it's April 13th, I believe, is what we have it scheduled for, and it's going to be an intimate evening with Street Slim. And it's going to be April 13th, and it's going to be an exceptionally fun evening. I'm going to be playing a few episodes on the back of the Blue Beetle because a lot of people don't know this, but Eugenio, aka Street Slim, and Catfish, his partner at the time, did a song that they were so gracious to loan me to use for the opening of the web series I created, The Blue Beetle Ted Cord Returns.
All right, that's $1 in the jar.
Yeah, I know. We had 4 seasons of it.
Oh.
And we played that opening for the first, I believe it was 2 seasons. And then on the 3rd season, we stopped playing that. And at the opening of it was no longer the opening of every episode, but the first 2 seasons, every single episode we opened with that song. And I believe the last episode ever that we had in the 4th season, we ended it out with that song as well, which was a very nice way to go out for the series. But it was the first time, to my knowledge, that there was a superhero series in general that used blues music as the main theme song for the series. So I was very honored and happy to use that. And he'll be playing, probably, I would imagine, maybe if we're lucky, he'll be playing that. But a bunch of other treats along with that. And it'll be on the 13th of April at We Can Be Heroes Comics. And yes, there will be a fee to get in because it's a private special event. But we're also going to have a trade swap, which will be basically like you'll be swapping trades, like collected stories. Because Eugenio is such a good storyteller when he sings and he performs. and he talks about the blues. It's almost like he's explaining a history, not only of himself but of the blues itself. And when he does that, it creates a tapestry. And comic books do the same thing, in my opinion, and it creates a story. So you have a trade, a complete story. So people, their favorite stories that they have on trade can bring in and swap that with somebody else that has their favorite stories. So you can kind of learn what their favorites are. And that'll be the evening, essentially. It'll be a really, really fun time. So that'll be the 13th of April. The doors will open at 7 p.m. and will begin around 8 p.m. And it'll be a hell of a good time.
So you were truly ahead of the curve 14 years ago.
I tried. I mean, he tried. We all tried. We really did. I mean, Chris, you were involved, and Kevin, you were involved as well. And yeah,
Sammy was involved in spirit.
Yeah, in spirit. Yes, in spirit. Yeah, we really did try to create something special, and I hope that it comes across that way. But we'll be playing that, kind of projecting it on the screen in the background, and he'll be on stage performing and stuff. It'll be a really good evening.
I will say this: there was one episode in the second season that did not start with that. That was the finale, season finale.
That's true.
There's a Wild West one with the piano.
Yeah, we did do that because it was season 2 was I think when we really broke the mold, when we kind of stepped away from what season 1 was producing. Season 2 was when we really kind of started to shine. I felt like we got a new cinematographer.
That's when I learned how to edit.
And Chris learned how to edit, and it got really, really good. In fact,
2012.
Season 2 was so good that someone pulled me aside and said, you probably shouldn't show season 1 to people. And I was like, oh, okay.
Wow.
But you kind of have to in order to understand what the story is about. It is what it is.
The one that got that bunch of views because of James Gunn. So.
But anyway,
right.
before we get told that we're yammering on again, or me, let's move on to the next subject. Anybody have anything?
Shillelagh.
Okay.
Shillelagh, I guess.
We'll talk about Shillelagh then. There we go.
I find this to be a very fascinating, even somewhat hilarious weapon. Although in real life, I would not want to be hit by it because I'm sure it would hurt like hell. The fact that it's a thick stick, it's come from like a blackthorn or oak tree in Ireland.
See you, Alex.
And the fact that it could be used as a walking stick, or a club, or a weapon to beat someone down. Actually, come to think of it, Master Yoda's stick kind of looks like a shillelagh. Come to think of it. I just thought about that.
It does. But that's only because he's really short, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Really
and Sean, that was a reasonable consideration for us. But at this point, I think I don't look the same that I did then. If I shaved and stuff, I would just look like an older version of myself, and I don't know if it would work. Unfortunately, it's been.
So you're saying that the beard makes
13
you look
years
younger?
or so.
You're saying the beard makes you look younger?
It hides the double chin.
What?
You have a double chin? You have a double chin, of all people.
I mean, technically, yes.
Come on now, between the three men here, you have the least amount of weight on you.
Hey. Thank you, Kevin.
Well, Chris has lost a lot, though. Chris has put a lot of time in. He's lost a lot of weight.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, between the three of us, you are the skinniest. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Chris is some, whatever, or I am. I'm just saying, between the three of us, you're the thinnest. That's all I'm saying. Chris, come on out.
You're fired.
Street Slam. Did James
I have no
Gunn?
power to do it, but I'm firing you anyway.
Not to change the subject or anything, but James Gunn did he get me views? A few.
He did.
A few, honestly. And maybe people don't know, but a while back, James Gunn did tweet a picture of me as Ted Kord, and it was a surreal experience. I wish that he had done it now, when he's more relevant to speak of, to talk about, and all that he's done for the DC universe. Because he hadn't done anything at that point when he tweeted about, Ted Kord and stuff.
He had done Scooby-Doo.
Well, yeah, but I mean, he had also done Guardians of the Galaxy, he had done that, but he had yet to do any real work within the DC universe. And I wish it had created more views for me. It's weird sometimes the way things work out. Like, you get something like that and you think it's gonna, like, oh my God, this is huge. And it's not really as huge as you think. But, it's a great story to tell, at parties.
It's true.
Or online.
Or online.
So in the reshoot, you can be Dan Garrett instead of Ted Kord. I guess, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, that was Robert Kimball, and Robert was in his 70s at the time when we did film it. Late 60s, early 70s, if I recall. He played Dan Garrett, and he did a fantastic job, I thought. I really liked working with Robert. I do miss Robert. I ran into, what's his name? Tom Holland. I ran into Tom Holland last month.
Spider-Man? You ran to Spider-Man?
No. The other Tom Holland, the creator of Child's Play, Chucky.
Oh, yes, director of Child's Play.
Yeah, I ran into him at CreepyCon in Ontario because I was working that convention. And I told him, I was like, I don't know if you remember me, but I worked, I came on set to watch you. You were shooting a Sony series of shorts for their web series content. And I got to be on set. It was up in the Hollywood Hills. And I said, I really appreciated it. And I said, if you remember, Robin was the reason I was there. He was your friend, Robert Kimball, but you call him Robin. He was like, oh, yeah, Robin. Yeah. Yeah, how's he been? And I was like, I don't know. But but I got to, talk a little bit about Robin, a.k.a. Robert, and, his work with Blue Beetle and stuff like that. So it was nice to reminisce. So to speak, I guess.
Yes, reminiscing.
Yes. But this weapon, Kevin, how much damage? It looks like it's got it looks like it has a strap that's attached. So you probably would wrap that around your hand.
You could if you wish, or you could just straight up
or swing it.
Swing it around and just.
And it's got a club on the end, right? So what is that club? Is that just like a knot from a tree, or?
Yeah, it's like a knot from a tree, essentially, and that's obviously the hardest part, and that's the part that could probably bash your skull in, potentially.
So we could create a shillelagh very easily, in other words, is what you're saying. Like, as far as a weapon,
yes.
Here out, you could go to the public park and find
skilled enough
tree branch, bring it back, and you could create a shillelagh.
Bootleg version, but yes.
This is interesting. I kind of want to make shillelaghs now.
Really?
Yeah.
Shillelagh is the only weapon that a druid can wield.
That's right, for their particular rituals.
Really? Oh, that's
I'm talking about Dungeons & Dragons, but...
Oh.
In Season 3, you can form the Blue Brigade. All the Blue Beetles. Bumblebee, Red Bee, Bug, Forager from New Gods, etc. versus Mr. Mime, Queen Bee, Bug-Eyed, Bandit, Killer Moth, Firefly, etc. Oh, and let's not forget Ambush Bug. Yeah. Ambush Bug was in the Suicide Squad for a minute, which was really interesting. I don't know what he was doing in there. I never got to finish reading that run. But I think it was Tom Taylor that was writing the Suicide Squad for a hot minute. And I'll read anything Tom Taylor writes. He's one of my top 10 writers. And
DC Comics did rip you off a character.
No, with the Red Beetle, yeah. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, I was very, very fortunate here. Extremely recently, we had at the shop none other than, and the Shawns would find this hopefully exciting, but I was very fortunate to be able to interview none other than Mr. Mark Waid himself. Creator of Kingdom Come, and Irredeemable. And I had found one of the very special comics, the foils, that said Mark Waid is evil. It was an Irredeemable #1 special issue. And he had already signed it, but then I had him sign This Is True. And he took a picture with it, which I thought was super cool. So I think I have a photo here of me interviewing him. And while I was interviewing him, he was signing comics for the shop. So we have a bunch of Mark Waid side comics at the shop too. But there he is. He's so proficient. Like, And he got deep too into like the history and his family and stuff like that. It's a really good interview. It runs about 35 minutes long, and it'll be up in the next couple weeks in audio form for the Real Short Box. So keep tuned for that. I think that's a really, really special interview, and I do talk to him about the web series, The Blue Beetle, and stuff like that, and about creating heroes and villains. And I do talk about black licorice and things like that. So stuff like that does get discussed in there, which is interesting. And he said at one point, I'll be sure to contact DC's lawyers. And I was like, all right.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, an Irredeemable, Incorruptible series. Yeah, me too, Eugenio. That was the goal, man. I don't know.
It'll come. Patience.
Yes, I did have Red Beetle before DC. And years before. It was me and Kevin and an artist, Louis Castillo, that was working on it at a convention at a table. And I swear somebody walked by and they saw it. They saw the conceptual sketches and they said, that's the idea.
I guarantee you they ran to Dan DiDio. Hey, sir.
Yeah.
I saw,
Or I have an idea. And he's like, that's not bad. Yeah. Because it's really hard to think about, like, the fact that somebody would be coming up with that kind of an idea, like exactly. Just is somebody making a sandwich? Why does it sound like somebody's making a sandwich?
I'm not doing anything.
You guys are making some weird sounds.
I'm over here sleeping. It ain't me.
Chris.
Maybe
Sammy,
the four.
Are you
Oh,
making peanut
okay.
butter and jelly sandwich?
No.
That's not a disrespect, Belt Loop. He says Sammy's a very pretty lady.
Oh,
Now, I would say lady's a very loose term for Sammy.
Wow.
But she can have her
A dame.
a broad.
You say, Donald?
But she can have her moments where she looks okay, where like her face isn't messed up. Like
Dame.
she has her moments. Yeah,
her
thanks,
father.
Sean. Yeah, it is kind of a special event when DC steals shit from you. I guess I can be in a very elite club for that. As far as weapons, so we got the shillelagh. Do we want to talk about any musical instruments, or perhaps some music, or another Irish character, or?
Well, there is food, black and white pudding.
Let's talk about black and white pudding.
Ooh.
It's very interesting because all it basically is just traditional sausages that are made with oatmeal, suet, and spices.
Mm-hmm.
And there's pork and bacon involved. But the one difference between the white and the black pudding is the white pudding doesn't have any pig blood in it. That's basically the main.
Yeah, black
thing.
pudding is basically like blood sausage,
Blood sausage.
which if you've ever like if you bit your own lip and you've tasted that copper
Yes.
taste, that is what you get in a black pudding or a blood sausage. When you bite into it, you get that copper taste, and to me it's not something that I enjoy. Some people do enjoy licking batteries, and that's okay, if that's your thing, but not my jam, man. Like Chris,
The white pudding you prefer.
Sammy, Chris, did you guys try both versions, or?
No,
I was
have
with
not,
you
actually.
when I threw up on you when I tasted it.
Oh!
Yeah, you weren't a fan, that's for sure. Chris
I did
was not a
throw
fan.
up. I did not throw up, but I was definitely not a fan.
Chris.
How can you
So
have any
did you like
pudding
the
if you
white
don't
pudding
eat your meat?
instead?
No, I have not. I have not had those, sadly. No, I have not had either of those. I have had Irish soda bread and Irish stew, but not that.
Ooh, don't even get us started about the stew.
I got a picture.
But the soda bread's delicious. And my dad makes it every year. But yeah,
I got a picture of
Soda
that
bread is
stew,
delicious.
and I'll never forget it. It's the best stew still to this day. I will say, though, the second best stew I've ever had in my life came right from here, McLeod's in Van Nuys, the Scottish brewery makes an amazing
Not had their
Irish
stew.
stew.
I have not had their stew. I have had their beer and I have had their pizza, but not their stew.
It was exceptional.
Mm.
It was a Guinness stew with brown bread and butter, and we had it in the best thing I ever did was go on that Tinder date with that girl. I went on that Tinder date with that girl before we'd planned this trip, and when we were in the thought process of it. And I remember because we went to Idle Hour, and I met her there, and we were talking, and the date was fine. You know, I knew it wasn't going to go anywhere, but we had good conversation, and I told her that I was planning, we were planning a trip to Ireland. And she was like, oh my God, I just went there. You have to go to Doolin. And I was like, excuse me? And she sold me on it in that instant. Like, she said, imagine you go to a town and you're having a pint in a small pub, like in the middle of nowhere, and all these people start to show up, and you realize that they're just the people from the town, they're just the townsfolk, and they all have their bags and stuff, and they open, and inside their bags they have their own instruments, and they start having a few pints and stuff, and then some music starts getting played, and then the music kind of dims, and then the instruments get pulled out, and everybody starts to jam, and it creates this one beautiful jam session in this small town, and you're experiencing history. Like, you're experiencing a cultural history of all of these people that every night come out and play music together. And I was like, that sounds amazing. And so I texted Chris and I said, we should go to Doolin. And he's like,
And I said kazoo tight.
yeah. And then he said, let me look into it. And then he looked into it and he said, you know what? I think you're right. Let's plan that as part of our leg on our tour of our drive. And we did. And we went to Doolin. And that's where we got this stew. And it was fantastic.
And it was after that cold, cold day at the Cliffs of Moher.
Yes.
And we were freezing and we needed to warm up. It was the perfect thing.
The wind
Just warm
was
up our
so
bodies.
strong, it blew a dog off the cliff. Yes.
Even I was walking sideways.
Yes. Luckily, there was another cliff, like, that hung out over the cliff, like a section underneath. So when the dog got blown off, he landed down on the other section and then just ran back up.
Yeah, I was gonna say you better not say a dog died because I would have been.
No, we
I'm
almost
done.
we
I'm
almost
done.
we almost adopted that dog.
I mean, I'd never seen anything like it. It was yeah, that dog, we almost took that dog with us. We had him coming back to the car with us, and we were going to take him into town because he had no tags. And he was just the funnest dog. He had a stick in his mouth, and he was like, let's play fetch. And we're like,
Donald, you
we had a great time.
You should have adopted that dog.
Well, here's the thing, though. He had an owner, and that owner called him back.
Okay.
And he went back to his owner. Like, his owner was up there walking around, and we just didn't know. That's all. So it's okay. Sean had stated something. Rory Gallagher was one of the great ones. Thank you, Kevin, for talking about leaving a like. Let's see. Let's talk about Stiff Little Fingers, Ireland's answer to the Clash. Batteries was a cool buzz as a kid. Kind of like seeing who could eat more hot sauce. Yeah, that's true. You can't have any pudding because the pudding is created with the fat that drips off the meat. That's fair. That's fair. YouTube Police says subbed and liked. Thank you, YouTube Police. Appreciate you.
What?
Beltloop29 and Food subbed and liked. Hey, also thank you. And Beltloop29 Homestead subbed and liked. Also thank you. Cute Critters subbed and liked. Oh, this is amazing. We're getting so many subs and likes. I love it. Did it also blow off the hair off the dog that bit you, Donald? No. No hair of the dog that bit me, good sir. I haven't met too many instances where I've gotten completely out of control, to be honest. I usually behave myself pretty well. Usually. I rein it in pretty good, though. I do. Unlike Jarrett. Let me show you a picture of Jarrett from one of my birthday parties.
Oh, Donald. Oh, Donald. Oh, my God. Don't do that to him.
What's he doing?
He's so drunk. At this point, I think he saw something that none of us had seen or will ever.
He looks terrified.
Right?
He's like,
Yeah. And look at Rob in the background just smiling. This was a group photo.
that's great. That looks
there's
so
there's
fun.
the group photo. You know, everybody's having a good time.
Oh,
And then we just zoom in on Jerry. I send that to him every once in a while. It's a good reminder.
Oh no.
Okay, so
Poor guy.
that being said,
Poor
it's
guy.
we've kind of went longer than we should have, and that's only because I had so many issues at the beginning getting anything to work, and I do apologize about that, guys. But I'm so happy to have shared snippets of Ireland with you, of Irish culture, of some of the most warm and greeting people you'll ever meet in your entire life. In my opinion, when we went to Ireland, we never felt out of place. We always felt welcomed. We always felt warm, and we always felt like we were a part of something, and that was special. To go
Community.
someplace,
You felt part
and,
of the community.
yeah, to go someplace and feel that, I think is truly, it's an honor and it's a privilege as well. So, to the Irish people, thank you, and to anybody that's a honorary Irishman, which anybody that wants to be can be. That's the beauty of the Irish culture. That's why St. Patrick's Day exists, because anybody that wants to be an honorary Irishman on the 17th of March, you are absolutely welcome to be. And I love that about our people. And I think if every culture was like that and everybody was like that, we would get along a hell of a lot more. And it would be a much more beautiful place in this world to live. So thank you guys for being a part of this. I always have issues and back issues. Yes, we do have tons of back issues at comic shops in general, and I would love to discuss more titles and more comics. In fact, I think Kevin, our Facebook page needs a little bit of refreshing. Don't you think?
Yes. Yes.
Like
yes.
perhaps for Rumble Pop, we can invite a few more people in. And those people can list maybe some of their favorite titles and some of their favorite series. And we can get started on trying to find some of those and start reading those. I think that would be nice if we could start sharing within that culture as well, within the comic book community. But I want to thank you guys for being a part of it. I want to thank you, Sammy, for being our special guest here this evening.
Thank you, Sammy.
We appreciate you for being on. And to show our appreciation, I just want to give you a gift.
No.
And-
No.
Oh, no?
Lucky Bear says don't do it. Lucky Bear says don't do it.
Oh, okay.
Donald, why?
All right,
God,
we'll wait
impulsive.
then. We'll wait. But thank you, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the show. We appreciate you all. And if you're feeling thirsty, perhaps you should
Have a traditional, magical, lucky, but never mischievous Rumble Pop.
drink up.